Hello, friends. We're continuing with our poem Hyperion by John Keats, and we have completed first 14 lines. Till now, we have seen that the Titans have been defeated by Olympians. Their king, uh, Saturn, is lying in some deep, dark valley. The atmosphere is that of isolation, gloom, and sadness. Okay, uh, there is no wind flowing in this deep valley. The sunlight does not come here. There is a stream that is flowing by, and even that stream is very silent. Right, now we should continue further, and we'll do the 15th line onward. Along the margin sand large footmarks went. So there's a stream flowing by, and the sandy bank of this stream there are footmarks, large footmarks. These footmarks are of Saturn, no further than to where his feet had strayed and slept there since. So these footmarks are visible till the place where Saturn had gone, not beyond that, and there Saturn lies sleeping. Okay, so the footmarks are of Saturn. He is completely isolated there, and he has gone to no other place, but he has rested in this point only, in this place only. Upon the sodden ground, the sodden means wet ground because the stream is flowing by, therefore the ground is wet. Moreover, the sunlight also does not come here. That also ensures that it is completely humid atmosphere there. His old right hand lay nerveless, listless, dead. Now, whenever there is Saturn, the reference is to his age also, which is old age. So, in the very fourth line, in the starting of this poem, when Saturn was introduced, it was said, "Sat grey-haired Saturn." That means white-haired Saturn. That means old Saturn. Here again, his old right hand lay nerveless, listless, dead. That means his all energy is gone. He is passively resting and devoid of all energy. Okay, unsceptered. Unsceptered means scepter means scepter is a rod that the king holds. It is a sign of his sovereignty. It is a sign of his authority. But not that sovereignty, that authority has gone. Therefore, his hand is without scepter. And his realmless eyes were closed because since he was sleeping, therefore his eyes were closed. Realm means his kingdom. Now, earlier, wherever he used to see his kingdom. Now that kingdom has gone. Okay, therefore, realmless eyes. While his bowed head seemed listening to the earth, his ancient mother. The earth is called ancient mother, is called the mother of Saturn because Saturn's father was Uranus and his mother was Earth. And from their combination emerged the Titans and Saturn. So he is since he was sleeping, so his head was bowed as if he was listening to some comfort words from his mother. He being Saturn being in a very dire situation, in a very distressful situation. So it seemed as he was looking for some comfortable words from his mother. Right? It seemed no force could wake him from his place. So he was sleeping and he was lifeless, motionless, and therefore it seemed that he is not Saturn is not going to wake up from this place. But there came one who, with a kindred hand, touched his white shoulders. The kindred means she was the relative, and this one is Thea. Thea came, and Thea is the sister of Saturn, and she is wife of Hyperion, the sun god. So she came and she touched his white shoulders with a kindred hand means relative's hand. She being the sister. After bending low with reverence. So she bended low with reverence means with respect. Saturn being the ex-king, Saturn being his elder brother, and therefore she showed the due respect, though to one who knew it not. Now Saturn was obviously sleeping, Saturn was obviously listless, almost lifeless, and therefore did not know that either Thea has come or that she is bending reverently. She was a goddess of infant word. Uh, now Thea is the goddess of infant word means ex word, the word that is already gone. She used to be the god, but now she has been displaced by the Olympians. By her in stature, the tall Amazon had stood a pygmy sight. The Amazons were a member of a tribe of women believed to be exceptionally tall and strong. But This woman race were very tall, but they in front of Thea were almost of pygmy height. That they were very small. She would have taken Achilles by the hair and bent his neck. Now, Achilles is a mighty hero of Iliad by Homer. The He is a hero basically, a very strong hero. But Thea was even stronger than this Achilles, and she would have hold Achilles by his hair and bend his neck. So powerful was Thea. Or with a finger stayed Ixion's wheel. Now, Ixion was a king who was punished by Jove. He was tied to a ever moving wheel. But Thea was so strong that with one single finger of hers, she would have stopped this ever moving wheel. Her face was large as that of Memphian Sphinx. Now, Sphinx is a monster with half human body and half of lion body. And the face of this is of human, and the body is that of a lion. Now, you must have seen in some videos that in Egypt there are not only there are pyramids, but there are this Sphinx also. So her face was large as that of Memphian Sphinx. So her face was also very large, like that of a Memphian. Memphis is a place in Egypt, and there is Sphinx. Pedestaled happily in a place court. So in a court, in a royal court, pedestal means base. This phoenix would have been placed happily. Perhaps this happily means perhaps by chance it would have been placed. When sages looked to Egypt for their lore, for their learning, sages or wise people used to go to Egypt. And during those time, this phoenix was placed there. But oh, how unlike marble was that face! How beautiful! Whereas the sphinx is made up of stones and marbles, those are expressionless faces. The face of Thea, who was a goddess, was extremely beautiful and it was full of expression. Though now the expression that was on her face was that of sadness. If sorrow had not made sorrow more beautiful than beauteous self. Now, sorrow otherwise is not beautiful. Okay, but because this time the sorrow was on Thea's face, who herself is extremely beautiful, therefore, sorrow was also beautiful, looked beautiful. I hope you're getting this point. There was a listening fear in her regard. Regard means her appearance, her face. There was a fear, as if calamity had but begun. The calamity that was faced by Titan and Saturn had just begun, as if the vanward clouds of evil days had spent their malice. Now, whenever an army moves, the front portion of the army is known as vanguard, and the rear portion are the reserves. So, whereas the vanward clouds, the forward clouds of the evil days had spent their malice. So, they completed the task of defeating titans that is there. However, and the sullen rear was with its stored thunder laboring up. Whereas the frontal crowds they had spent their malice, the rear crowds were laboring up, they were moving forward and they had stores of thunder. That means the Olympians have not yet done and they are about to move forward and to begin the assault anew. So the trouble for Titans are far from over. One hand she pressed upon that aching spot where beats the human heart. So one of her hand Thea put on her breast where there is human heart. And if just there, though an immortal, she felt cruel pain. So whenever we humans are in trouble, we can feel the pain in our heart. Similarly, Thea was also feeling the pain in her heart. The other upon Saturn's bended neck she laid. So other hand she put on the nape or the neck of Saturn and to the level of his ear, leaning with parted lips. And she brought her lips close to the ears of Saturn, and parted lips means she opened her mouth to speak. Some words she spake in solemn tenor and deep organ tone. And she spoke some words in very solemn tenor, in a very serious and a very deep manner she spoke. Some mourning words. And these words were some sad words, which in our feeble tongue would come in this like accent. And because Thea is a god speaking to a god Saturn, therefore the words or the language that she is speaking is a very serious and very high level. And human beings' language, on the other hand, very ineffective, very low as compared to that of God. While in our feeble tongue, so this feeble tongue is the tongue of the human beings, the language of human beings would come in this like essence. So it would be translated like this: oh, how frail, how weak this language of human beings to that large utterance of early gods. So, whereas Thea is speaking to Satan, this has been translated to the normal human language by Keats.